Hey everyone, my name's Steve and I'm a customer success engineer at Plunk. This video is going to go over using our example code to understand how to integrate Plunk Market Insights. If you haven't seen our video on getting the example code up and running, there's a link in the description. I'm going to assume that you've done that already. If you look in my browser here, you can see what Plunk Market Insights looks like. You can see that there's 6 different measures that we call insights. And to get started, we're actually going to go into the README, and then we're going to go to the Market Insights section. This here you can see gives a little bit of an overview. You can see where some client-side code lives, as well as some server-side code. And then, just so you know, basically the Plunk Market Insights API returns 3 years of time series data for a specified insight, also called a measure, and then a region type, which in this case, right now, as this video is being filmed, is just zip code, and then the region ID, which in the case of a zip code would be the zip code value. So let's go to the route first on our server. You can see that the client is passing some parameters to the server, and one of which is measure. That would be sales versus list price, median list price, price per square foot, inventory, etc. The region type we talked about is zip code currently, and then the region ID, which in this case would be a zip code. As we go down, we can see that we form a URL. I'm going to expand this a little bit. The API Market Insights URL is just the base URL, which I've stored in an environment variable. And then you can see I'm adding the measure, the region type, and then the region ID. You also need a API key value, so make sure you have one of those. I have it stored in my environment variables. That way you can be authorized to make the call. And then once we get the data, we're going to send it back to the client side. On the client side, you can see here's our request that the server is going to pick up. And then there's a render function. Basically, when you call the render function, you're going to make 2 calls. And in this, at least in this example, one to get the measure, so sale versus list price, let's say, and then the second to get its 90-day moving average. And so that's what this overlay value is. And then we're going to take that data and put it into this component. So you can see down here, I'm using the market insight measure values as well as the overlay values. If you're going to use this component, this basically pre-built component, you're going to want to have plunk components.min.js, this bundled file in your directory. This is going to allow you to use this component. Make sure that you have that bundled file in a script on your HTML page as well. And then while we're here on this HTML page, you can see that each div is basically a component. So there's 6 divs, which means there's 6 graphs. So if you only wanted to do, let's say, 3 of them, you could do that. And then once we go back to the front end code, you can see here I'm making that call for sale versus list price as a percent. I'm letting the function know what region type I'm using, and then the region ID, which is 91331. And then I'm also getting the 90-day moving average. If you need some further direction, I just want to show you in the README where you can find something. There's a Get Started section for integrating in your own project. This would be helpful to read and go through if that's what you're doing. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thank you. Bye.